The second in the limited edition club selection series made by Rebor is this set of hatching velociraptors, which have been nicknamed Lock, Stock and Barrel. In this short video we're going to review this replica and point out one or two things about this piece that demonstrates the attention to detail and the nod to science that Rebor has made. As with other Rebor replicas, the hatching velociraptors are packed into a sturdy presentation box, on the back of which can be seen a picture of the other model in the club selection series, the hatching Triceratops, known as Jolly, which came out last year. Fans of this series can expect further introductions, including another replica before the end of 2015. We will post up more information about this on Everything Dinosaur's Facebook page, under other social media pages in due course. Please note that only 1,000 sets of hatching Velociraptor triplets have been made, so this item is likely to sell out quite quickly. Inside the box you will find the 4 pieces that make up this set, the 3 Velociraptor hatchlings and the presentation base. Please take care when removing the models, especially the base, as if you're not careful, we suspect that as you lift out the base plate you could catch and break off the piece of model eggshell that overhangs the moulded sand-like mount which the eggs sit upon. At Everything Dinosaur we do open and inspect every Rebor box before we send them out. This is our way of making sure that the products are in tip-top condition. Unlike the 1 to 35 scale replica series, Rebor has not included a fact sheet on Velociraptor. However, we at Everything Dinosaur send out a fact sheet for every named prehistoric animal we supply. Our customers will receive a fact sheet on this late Cretaceous predator, included in their parcel. Before we set the models up, let's take a quick look at the base. We know from paleo-environmental studies that both species of Velociraptor lived in a relatively arid habitat, with a long dry season, and they did lay their eggs in sand. The mount for the eggs is therefore a sandy colour, and the texture has been skillfully created to create the impression of coarse sand grains. A couple of nicely sculpted pieces of eggshell are included as part of the base. This is the piece that we suspect could be caught when you lift the base out of its protective foam, so please take care when unpacking. If we turn the base over, this is where you will find the authenticity marks, with each of these limited edition models having its own unique number. Remember, only 1,000 of these models have been produced, so we expect that stocks will sell out quickly. As the Velociraptor eggs only rest on the mount, setting up the piece is a delicate balancing act. Perhaps if you are happy with the composition, you might want to consider permanently gluing the pieces in place. Or if you prefer, a few pieces of blue tack carefully positioned to help support the eggs is another option. As a compromise, you could always stick the 2 eggs that are in a more vertical position and leave the horizontal egg, the egg of the Velociraptor nicknamed Lock, as freestanding. This would allow you to pick up the egg and to examine it in more detail, and we will look at the eggshell next. The eggs have been moulded beautifully and show lots of exquisite detail. They are elongated, the typical shape of dromaeosaurid eggs, and they show minute details such as the pits and the unconformities. Anyone who has been near hatching reptiles or birds would appreciate that this sculpt is a sanitized version. In real life, this scene would be somewhat more visceral, but if we put this aside for a moment, we do want to stress the attention to detail that Rebor has shown with these model eggs. Based on our calculations, which relate to Velociraptor mongoliensis, the first of the Velociraptor species to be named, and the best known, these eggs are roughly in 1:1 scale. That is, the eggs are as big as they would have been in real life, and the hatchlings too are about the size you would expect Velociraptor babies to be, based on evidence from the fossil record. If we turn our attention to the actual dinosaurs, they have been given the typical Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, very reptilian look. Personally, we would have expected hatchling velociraptors to be covered in lots of insulating fluffy down, which would look rather wet as the animal emerged from its egg. But again, if we put this to one side, there is a lot to be admired from the detail depicted in each individual dinosaur model. When compared to other dromaeosaurids, velociraptors are known for having a different shaped skull. The skull of velociraptors tend to be longer, slender, and more flattened in appearance. So why do the velociraptors in this model have very rounded skulls? This is to do with a concept called distal growth. In essence, many young vertebrates have different body proportions when compared to the adult animal. The young velociraptors are very well developed. I love the way that the hands and claws are breaking out of the egg. Clearly, these little dinosaurs are alert and mobile, capable of catching their own dinners. So Rebor have inferred that these dinosaurs were precocial. That is, the young were very independent at birth and capable of fending for themselves. Just like birds today, paleontologists have proposed that dinosaurs adopted a whole range of strategies when it came to reproduction. Different genera had different approaches. For example, some dinosaurs, when they hatched, were very immobile and highly dependent on their parents to look after them, what is termed altricial behaviour, right to the other end of the spectrum, where some dinosaurs were fully precocial, capable of leaving the nest and being completely independent within a few minutes of hatching. The fossil record indicates that dromaeosaurs and other very bird-like theropods, such as the related troodontids, did indeed have precocial strategies when it came to raising young. These little chaps would have been capable of giving you a nasty scratch, or indeed biting a chunk out of your finger if you were to get too close. One point that we think that some collectors might be curious about is the shape of the pupil in the eye. The eyes are big. You expect that in a young animal. That's related again to the concept of distal growth. But the pupils are not rounded. Rebor have given their velociraptors a vertical slit for a pupil. The way the eyes have been depicted supports some newly published research from the United States, which looked at the differences in pupil shape between predators and prey, using a study of animals living today. Of course, no one can be certain about the shape of the pupil in a velociraptor's eye. There is simply no fossil evidence, nor is there ever likely to be. However, in this new research, the scientists discovered that animals that are ambush predators and are relatively small or close to the ground, hunters like crocodiles and domestic cats, for example, tend to have pupils that are vertical slits. Vertical slits give predators improved depth of field and the ability to judge distances. This is essential for an animal that hunts by pouncing on its prey. The vertical slit, in conjunction with the eyelids, regulates the amount of light coming into the eye. If, like a velociraptor, you live in a sandy environment with lots of sunlight reflecting off the ground, then having pupils that are a vertical slit could provide you with a distinct advantage. This is a nice attention to detail provided by Rebor, another nod to the scientific research reflected in the company's replicas. As for model dimensions, the base is approximately 11.5 centimeters in diameter. The height of the base is around 3.5 centimeters, and when fully assembled, the model stands about 17 centimeters tall. This is a fascinating and well-crafted dinosaur model, a really interesting centerpiece to any collection, and it provides a real talking point. Congratulations to Rebor for creating such an interesting replica. The hatching Velociraptor triplets and the rest of the Rebor collection is available from Everything Dinosaur, the UK-based retailer of dinosaur models, toys and games that is staffed by parents, teachers and real dinosaur experts. Check out www.everythingdinosaur.com for all your dinosaur and prehistoric animal product needs. For further information on the Rebor range, updates on the latest fossil discoveries, as well as articles and news stories featuring prehistoric animals, including more information on what the fossil record tells us about nesting behaviour in the Dinosauria, visit Everything Dinosaur's huge weblog, http://blog.everythingdinosaur.co.uk. Jam-packed full of information on dinosaurs, paleontology and fossils, it is a great place to stay in touch with all the dinosaur-related developments, and it contains a lot of information on all sorts of research articles. Or why not visit Everything Dinosaur's Facebook page, which provides additional product information, pictures and further material on all things to do with dinosaurs. Thank you.